So a couple people have asked me about short selling. They want to know how to short sell, how does short selling work. They don't really understand the idea of selling the stock and then buying it back. So I want to give this quick little tutorial talking about short selling, give you guys some ideas. Because short selling really is a big play in day trading. For these momentum plays, there's always opportunity to short. If I see shares short on a stock, kind of gives me an idea like, okay, if I go long in this stock and all of a sudden it starts to crash, I'm going to cut my loss and then I'm going to go short once I see a key area breaking. Example right here on ACHN. So I ended up going long here on ACHN and it got up there to the 516 area and came back down, and I ended up taking a $30 loss there on ACHN. And then as soon as I cut my loss, I saw breaking down. I was like, okay, I'm going to go short here and hopefully make back my money a little bit more. And you can see how it worked out right here. So ended up going long here. It broke above this 513 area, got up there to 517, and started to come back down. And I ended up selling before this big drop right here. Well, I saw that 512 area. It started to break. I was watching level 2. Level 2 did not look good. The sellers were stacking up. There was no buyers. So I was like, okay, boom. Time to go short there. So I ended up going short. It's the same idea as buying and selling, but it's just reverse. So I'm going to sell and then buy it back when I'm shorting a stock. And the idea, so here, you can see right here, this 512 area was a key area on ACHN for the breakdown. And you can see it bounced there, and then went up higher, and then came back down. And then from there, it kind of got there, and you see there was really no buying. So it's like, okay, there's no buying. This is not looking good. So I went short, ended up getting shares short there at 511. And then from 511 went down to 501, ended up covering right here at 505. So just got a little bit of profit there. Ended up making back with the money that I lost on the long position, and then a little bit more on the drop here, and ended up, like I said, getting back in the green on that trade. And I was looking at it from the beginning, kind of knowing that, okay, if this doesn't work out going long, I'm going to be able to short it because there are shares to short there. And that's kind of the game plan. You're not always right. There's sometimes where you're going to go long, it's not going to work out, but the key is to cut your loss quickly. And then if there are shares to short, kind of looking for that next area. If it is going down, if it's not working out, to end up shorting it. And you can see here, it worked out perfectly on the 1 minute chart here. This big drop from $5.12 down to $5. $5 obviously is going to be resistance there. Support at that $5 whole dollar area. And that's kind of how it worked out there. I could have covered a little bit lower probably if I'd have held a little bit longer, but it kind of jumped back up there. Got all the way back up to 509. So ended up, had 1,000 shares, took a quick profit, and made back the money that I lost and a little bit more there on the trade here on ACHN. And that's the whole idea. Even though I thought it was a good long, if you look at the overall chart, nice steady move higher here, had this drop here, but since that $5 bounced off that $5, use that support there, and it's been moving higher up to 518. Like, okay, this might look good the rest of the day, might be a slow mover, might just make some money here, and it didn't really work out going long. So once I saw that happening, I was like, okay, I knew that had that drop earlier that went to $5. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll drop to $5 again. Maybe I can make back 10 cents, make back my loss and some profit there. I'm clicking, I had 1,000 shares. I click short here. On some brokers, it'll say sell. Some people will say short. So I basically just click 1,000. I see there's buyers there at 508. The idea is that you're selling shares. So it's the same idea. Like if I was long on this and I wanted to sell it, I would need someone to buy it. So if I see people buying it at 508, I see the ask there at 508, and I see the bid there at 507. If I want to get in on the stock before it crashes, I'm going to just sell into the bid there at 508. And once I get filled, it'll show up over here as that I had sold 1,000 shares there at 508. And the only way for me to close my position either is to wait for it to drop to go lower, and then I'll make profit by buying those shares back. So I would buy those shares. I'm basically borrowing it from a broker. So I would sell those shares there at 508, and now I could cover at 506, making 2 cents profit there. Example of how to get in and out on this short. And you can see here, kind of the volume dying now, not much going on. Another one, I don't really want to talk about it, but MBOT, this is painful. This is really painful, guys. And let's check this one out. So this morning, I thought about shorting it. I talked about this in my live trade video this morning. I talked about shorting it here at the $5 area. This is a previous runner. Last couple of days ran up big. This was the third day. So the third day pre-market, it was already red. Didn't look like there was much volume going on pre-market. It was going down pre-market. I was like, okay, this is definitely going to look good. And you can see, boom, crash. So From that open, it got up to 520 and then just started crashing. I ended up shorting here at 585, had 500 shares. I wasn't in love with it, so I didn't really go that big. Only 500 shares, and then you can see it now down to 393. So awesome short there on MBOT. The key thing to look at really is the 5-minute chart. Looking at the 5-minute chart for that support resistance areas, I looked there, I saw, okay, $5 up here is kind of where we're opening at. I'm expecting either a little bit of a pop or it's going to just crash. And it just crashed. So it went down to that 480 area. Once it broke to that $5, I was like, okay, 480 was kind of a key area to watch here. And then after 480, I'd be looking for that 460 area to kind of be the next support. And that's kind of how it worked out. You can see it came down here, bounced off that 460. I ended up covering there at 460 because I was worried that it might kind of bounce there and just either get stuck and not really go down anymore, or it might bounce back and go higher. So I took profit there early on this. I should have left some shares, short, gave it a little bit of time, but you can see what happened after that. It ended up coming down. So now it's down to 391. So if I would have shorted this, like I kind of had an idea, like I was planning on shorting it there at open at $5, $5.15 area, I'd be up, 1,000 shares, be up $1,000 right now. So really awesome trade there on MBOT. You kind of get an idea. So we ended up going long in the last couple of days when the volume was there, when the momentum was there, we went long. And you can see the chart overall going up. It had some news, it went up big, had some short squeezes, and then the third day here, bam, crashing down through that 460 area, which was previous support resistance, and now it's down to 380. So probably 380 is going to be a key area to watch. I talked about this morning kind of as my goal. If I would have shorted this at $5, 380 would be kind of the price target for the short here, knowing that that support is there at 380. I got out way too early here, but this is a good example really for you guys to check out and kind of get an idea how it's important to be flexible, how to not marry a trade. If you get long and all of a sudden it starts crashing, well, don't think it's over, or don't think that you need to hold on. Sometimes you just got to cut your loss. You got to get ready for a short opportunity. And MBOT, amazing short opportunity this morning. I really blew it there. Just a rookie mistake really on my part. Getting down there to 391 now. Had 500 shares short there at 485, and now it's down to 391. So it's not easy to really know what's going to happen with these support resistance areas. That 460 could have turned into support. It could have bounced. It could have went higher. So I ended up taking profit. I had things I had to do. I couldn't just sit there and just watch the trade all day. It's doing exactly what I kind of envisioned it doing, crashing down there to that 380 area. It might even go lower than that. If it gets through 380, I could see it going back down to $3, no problem. So I might short it again below 380. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully you guys get an idea how to short sell, how to buy, sell. Obviously, if you sell shares here at 392 and all of a sudden it goes to $4, you're going to be selling you're going to be buying back for a loss. You need to buy at a lower price to make money, because basically just the inverse. So you're just inversing the buying, selling. Short selling is not as crazy as you think it is. A lot of people get kind of scared of short selling. The biggest thing is to figure out if your broker has the shares of short. I know on Short Trader, you can click right here. It'll show you how many shares are to short there and give you some more information. If I'm looking to buy, I need to buy here on the ask if I'm trying to get out quickly, or I can sit here and try to get filled on the bid. But sometimes if a stock's squeezing, it might get hard to get filled there. So you got to be real careful, and you don't want to get stuck in a short squeeze. You don't want to short this stock too early. Like yesterday, if you would have shorted this stock out of open, you might have got squeezed and then it dropped. And then if you just shorted here again, you could have got squeezed all the way up there to 538 if you're stubborn. So the key really is to be careful when you're shorting. Be quick to cut your losses and, protect yourself. Make sure you're not getting caught in those short squeezes. These stocks are very volatile. You get caught in these short squeezes, all of a sudden the stock goes up $1 and you just lost $1,000 if you have 1,000 shares short. So you got to be real careful and just really play it smart. Don't get greedy. And like I always say, take profit when you have it, kind of thing. Because when you're shorting, the upside is from $4 to 0, where the downside, if it goes to from $4, it could easily go to $10, $20. I've seen it happen. These crazy stocks get news all of a sudden. They get halted. They open up 100% higher, and it happens. So you just got to be real careful. You don't want to short too early. You don't want to short a stock that has a lot of momentum, a lot of power still. You got to give it some time. You don't want to be too early. Sometimes it's good to be early on the short, and then you get more profit, but it's a little bit more riskier. So you're looking for those key areas to break down. I like to look for those key areas of support resistance to break down, and then after that, stock goes down. Like here on MBOT, MBOT came down here to 477. I knew there was some support resistance there at the 480 area, so I was like, okay, I want to see what happens when it gets back up there. If it gets denied, then I'm going to go short. It's a good sign. It's going to be going lower. And there it goes, back to 391. Hopefully this video answers some of you guys' questions about shorting. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. A lot of new videos on the way.